Welcome back to Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430. This is Wyatt Goolsby, the executive director of this radio station, KSHJ. And we thank you so much for joining us here on this weekly program where we love to promote Catholic values and things going on in our local Catholic community. There's an upcoming program that we want you to check out or consider checking out that's starting in February, and it's a new play highlighting St. Monica and St. Augustine. Joining us here in the studio to talk more about it is Eric Domuret and Caitlin Kennerson. They are from the University of St. Thomas. Eric, I want to start with you. You help lead up UST Drama for people who are not familiar with the program and the university. Give me a quick overview of what you do.
I am the chair of the department for the University of St. Thomas drama program. I'm a head of fine arts, drama, and dance. And we have just this year started the Stoic Theatre through UST Drama, which is a professional theater that is connected with the university that hires both professional actors and artists and designers to work alongside the students on and off stage in all of our productions.
How long have you been now doing this at the University of St. Thomas?
I've been there 8 years, but this is my second year as the chair of the program.
Very good. Well, I'm excited to hear about this upcoming play performance that's starting in February, and I believe it runs through parts of March here. It's called August Mother.
Yes.
Tell me how this started.
So I'll try to be brief about it. 20 years ago on my master's degree, we had to do a adaptation of a work, and we had to make a 10-minute play. And so I considered writing a scene from the Confessions. And I started it. And I like to say this, it kind of started to sound like a Kirk Cameron movie. It was pretty awful, so I abandoned it, and I did a different adaptation that worked really, really well. And then a little over a year ago, I said, why don't I give this another shot? I've had 20 years under my belt now to become a better playwright and director, and so I picked up something, and I started writing it. I started to try to explore the scene when St. Augustine was young and he was sick and he almost died, and his family said, okay, we can get him baptized now. And then when he got better, they decided not to baptize him. I said, what did that look like? What were the arguments going on in the house? How sick was he? What was his illness? What was Monica and Patricius talking about? How did the decision get made? Because Augustine in the Confession says, I don't know why they made that decision. So I said, let me try to answer that question in the form of a play, and I wrote that scene. I submitted it to a 10-minute play festival in New York City. It got picked up. And so I said, what's the next scene in his life look like? What's the next one look like? What's the next one look like? And then I got the whole play. And so that's how I wrote it. And then my colleague at the university says, why don't we just put that in our season? And so we put it in our season, and we start rehearsals this week, and off we go.
It's exciting. Yeah. And of course, Caitlin, you'll be playing the role of St. Monica.
Yes.
How do you begin to research or kind of get into the head of St. Monica?
Oh, wow. So I went to, for everybody's first choice, Google.
Of course. You got to start somewhere.
Start somewhere and start looking it up. But really, Eric did a wonderful job of putting everything that I needed in the script. So It was really me going in and studying about the things that he had already listed in the storyline. Mm-hmm. And then also August, looking up things about him and his life and his stories. And so just reading in, deep diving in those spaces. And also Monica's a mother, and I think that motherhood is a major part of this story. And so that was the other thing that I really kind of deep dove into. I mean, being a parent as well, so that was, I think I kind of connected in that way, but then it was also let me just go and look up some stories and see other things that people have experienced as mothers in this life, because I haven't experienced everything. She's only one.
Right. And like I said, there's so much that all of us can learn from the example of St. Monica and St. Augustine as well. Eric, what are some of the highlights for you in writing this that you think people are really going to enjoy in going to a play like this?
Wow, there's so many things that I guess I could start by saying I really wanted to tackle understanding a mother and a woman, because I'm neither. And that's a big criticism that a lot of male playwrights get, is they don't write women well. And what I had is a real life example in St. Monica. Mm-hmm. And so I really tried to explore that. I talked to my wife a lot. I imagined her in the scenarios. I imagined my own mother in those scenarios. I imagined myself as my wife's husband, so I also imagined as my mother's son, and I really tried to explore the motherhood and the womanhood of her. I think I was pretty successful in it. But then it was very easy for me to connect with St. Augustine there. So I think people are going to see something that, I know this sounds cliche, but that they're going to be able to relate with in the 21st century. But St. Augustine had an understanding of human psychology way beyond his time, way beyond his time. I think because in his Confessions, he was being so self-critical. He was really diving deep into his own faults. And so we can see that 1,500 some odd years later as a really deep character understanding that made it very easy to dive into all the conflict, all the messiness of their life. I mean, Monica and Augustine had a messy life. It was a dysfunctional household that he grew up in. She had a dysfunctional husband and mother-in-law. And I didn't use real heightened language like we're wont to see in these plays set in ancient Rome. You know, I didn't want to give the story this polish and nobility that you would see of these Roman soldiers and emperors. I used a very contemporary sounding language because I wanted to dive into the messiness that we could all see and relate to of being a parent, of being a mother, of being a father, of being a son, of making the wrong choices, of running away from home, all of that. I know everybody says this when they write a period piece and they're doing a period play, but they're going to be able to relate with this on a much deeper level. As a matter of fact, the director that we've hired for it, when he first read it, he thought it was a 21st century play. And I'm like, no, you got to look at the references. There's no cell phones in this play. There's no, just the language and the characters. He thought it was set in a modern context. And so...
Yeah, that's interesting. Just how much work has gone in. Like I said, the years of work just to create this.
Absolutely.
Caitlin, when you talk with Eric about this, and you guys are working together to really bring out St. Monica, I'm guessing that that's really valuable to you as an actress because, maybe not for all the roles you have all the information, and directly from the person who's written the play to really tell you what the feel and the intent of everything really is.
Yeah, it's really cool and really fun. We were literally talking about it outside just now, is that I love that I can just ask him all of these questions, and I can also tell him how wonderful of a story it is and how well it was written, and to see his face light up about, how well he did the script. I also really appreciate that I can go in and say, hey, what was happening here? What does this really mean? I saw this and I, have a question, and I'm getting it directly from the person who wrote the script. So, I mean, that is a bonus. It's a big bonus.
Tell me more about the preparation that you did for this role. A lot of lines, a lot of stuff to memorize.
Oh, yeah. She's in almost every single scene, on almost every page. So first, I read it backwards, which I was, when he first gave it to me, I said, I'm going to read it backwards. I'll work my way to the front. And the very first thing I read, I won't give any spoilers, but I went, oh my God, that happens at the end? I'm kind of intimidated here.
I don't know if I know a lot of actors that go right to the end.
Yeah, I went to the end.
You want to know exactly what happens here.
I was like, just hit me with the headliner. Let me see what happens.
Okay.
And then I read my way back to the front, and I will tell you, I'm glad I did that. I really am, because I really wanted to know everything about her that I could. And starting off with where her goal was, she reaches her goal at the end, and understanding from that point and how did she get to that goal was really intriguing, and her journey with it, her coming to understand that she couldn't fix everything, that she couldn't, have her hands in everything, that's something she really needs to actually give over to God. Even when she thinks that she's doing it, she's not. And her finding that path at the end was really beautiful. And I read that first, and then I got to the beginning, and then I said, let me go back and read it again. And when I went from start to finish, I cried. I went into tears. I was really emotional. And then I got even more intimidated. God, this woman's gonna wreck me. She's really she's a work of art. Monica is beautiful in so many ways. And I have to go back to the motherhood of it, because I appreciated her even more reading it from the end to the beginning, because I knew about all the ways that she had healed herself and at the end, and then to find out where she came from the beginning was a really magnificent journey, and it was really beautiful. And I think sometimes we, for ourselves, really want to get to that end goal, and we want to know what we look like at the end, you know. And I came into that wanting to know what she looked like at the end, and then I really got a chance to appreciate how much me and her were alike, finding out where she came from. And I think as an actor, it's important for you to be able to have that connection so that you can really portray these characters authentically.
Oh, sure. You have an actual character arc. She's going from point A to point B, and that's incredible. That example is incredible, too, about how you're not always in control of everything. You want to be in control, and I'm sure as a mother I can imagine, want to have certain more control, but sometimes you have to be able to give it to God. And that seemed to have resonated with you. Yeah,
it did. Yeah. It did. I think you want to be there for everything. You want to have your hands at every point. You want to protect your child. You want to encourage them. You want to teach them, but there's going to be things that God is going to be able to do way better than you. And it's just all about knowing when to let go and knowing when it's his time to come in. He put you there, but he's giving you your part, and then you're going to release it so that he can do his part.
Amen. One of many powerful messages in this upcoming play. Again, it's called August Mother. Eric, really quickly, just give me the website for people who want to learn more.
StoicTheatre.com. That's Stoic Theatre with an R-E at the end of theater. StoicTheatre.com, and they can learn about the play, and they can also purchase tickets there.
And when does it start? Or give me
Opens February 21st, and it runs through March 1st at the Deluxe Theater.
Very good. We are looking forward to that, and we appreciate both of your time here coming in. Eric Domuret, Caitlin Kennerson, UST Drama. Again, website one more time.
StoicTheatre.com.
Very good. Well, we are out of time. We want to thank all of you, our listeners, for continuing to stay with us here on AM 1430. We appreciate your support of this ministry. And until next time, stay Catholic, Houston.